Hey there, this is kind of a bonus stream. It's a Sunday afternoon here in France, and I'm gonna work on my overlay for the Twitch chat poker game that I'm building. So if we do have Blind Valley users, as always, that come through that want to ask questions or anything, then I'm happy to answer those. But otherwise, I'm gonna work on my overlay and try and get this little game working in chat. So the idea is you can enter a chat command but the chat command is exclamation point deal, and you'll be dealt into the next hand. Right now I've just changed all kinds of stuff, so everything's broken. So I need to fix a whole bunch of stuff because I just did a major refactoring this morning, and then went for a hike on the coast and had a really nice lunch, and now I'm back and going to try and get stuff working again because pretty much everything's broken. So there we go. So you can see the countdown up in the upper right hand corner. That's the countdown to the next hand that's going to be dealt. Right now there's nobody logged in and nobody dealt any cards because everything's broken. But that's the idea, is that every 10 minutes there'll be another hand, and people in chat will be able to play poker, kind of play poker. You get dealt cards and see if you win, but there's no betting right now. It's just I don't know if there will be in the future. It's just kind of a fun little thing to add to the chat. So I just I had done a little prototype. We got a lot of stuff working, and it's gonna be cool. But I was adding in the percentage chance for each hand to win and things like that, and ended up having to do a whole refactoring. So I just rewrote a whole bunch of cloud functions, and none of them work right now. And I've changed the data structure and all kinds of stuff. So the idea now is to see if I can get those working. So the first one I'm going to do is the new hand. So this is when this is triggered by a database trigger. So with let me show you this. So at this database point, there's in the database under stream, there's going to be a chat poker item, which is where all the data structures will lie under that. And within there will be something called current hand that will have all the players and the cards they have. It'll have the data for the flop, for the turn and the river, the percentage chance to win, and so forth. Everything will be stored there. And also who wins, who the winners of the hands are after that's calculated. So I have this database triggers anytime the current hand is deleted. So at the end of, after one hand has been displayed, we've done the flop, turn, and river, shown the winner. Then the script is going to delete this current hand. That's going to trigger this function that's going to prepare the next hand, which it's going to create a fresh new deck of cards, and it's going to what else is it going to do? Fresh new deck of cards, and it's going to, right from the start, it's going to draw out the three cards for the flop, the one card for the turn, and one card for the river, so that there's no reason to do those in real time. Really, it's still going to be just same random chance. It's just going to be they'll be drawn first. So right now I'm just putting a data point in here at current hand. I'll put another one in placeholder just to make sure that this data structure stays in place, so it'll be easier to add one back in manually afterwards. And so the test is to delete this, and then when I delete this, it'll trigger my cloud function. And so as I said, I just rewrote a whole bunch of functions, and I haven't really tested them yet. So I'm going to check out the logs for this one. It says the handler is not a function, so I guess this is like the most basic error you can have. Basic error you can have is that I'm not actually passing in a function to be handled, which seems weird. Twitch chat poker new hand. So in my Twitch file, chat poker new hand is that should be a function. I'm not sure why it says it's not a function. Let's see. Now I did get some errors when I was deploying the function, so I may need to redeploy them. But I mean, it's certainly a function. You can see it's a function that takes the snapshot in context. No, this is not the right one. Chat poker here, it's a function that takes in the snapshot in context, sets the deck to a new deck. There's the flop, turn, and river initialized. It draws out random cards for the flop, turn, and river, and then creates the new current hand structure with a deck, what's left in the deck, and the flop, turn, and river, and then pushes those into the database. And so it sets a new value there. So once it's that point is deleted, we're going to create a new one. So that's what we're going to try and debug. Not sure how it's saying the handler is not a function. Let me see if I can see if there's anything else in that code, or if maybe it's just a question of redeploying, but handler is not a function. Doesn't seem like it's in my code. It's just, yeah, I think I just need to redeploy it, and we'll see if that works. Because we had a lot of fails because I had been doing so many updates. I went over the quota. I tried to redeploy all my functions in one shot, and that did not like it. So let's do the Firebase deploy. This is off the screen. Firebase deploy, only functions, and the chat poker new hand. Let's deploy that one. Also, I've redone all my cloud functions for this to change the data structures and so forth, but I have not reflected that yet in my overlay. So the overlay has the timer on the top right, but pretty much nothing else works. So we have one the dealt hands displays all the players' hands, and this is right now it's going off the wrong data point. So we have players, last hand we shouldn't need anymore. So I can get rid of this. What we're just going to have is the current hand is the data point we want. And it's going to be stream, chat, poker, current hand. Let's see. Let's do this one. Current hand ref. In just a second, I'm going to need to send a message to someone that asked me to announce when I was on stream. So I'm going to do that. Live on Twitch. I also have an announcement on my website. Anytime I go live, I have an event. I subscribe to the Twitch API event for when my channel goes online, and I update a little message on my website saying that we're online. Also on the poker clock itself, I announced the stream. And even with all that, I have 0 viewers at the moment, but that's okay. So I'm just going to send this message out so nobody's waiting on me anyways. Just anybody who's gone back and watching the archives, that's who I'm talking to right now. So thanks for watching. Copy this. I'm going to send it to a couple people. So where were we? Current hand ref. So we're resetting the data structure while our function deploys. The function's probably deployed now, so let's do that. We'll come back to the overlay anytime we're waiting on a function to deploy. And let's try triggering that again. So we go to our data structure. We've got our current hand. We delete this endpoint, and that should trigger our function to re-execute. Let's go back to our logs. And let me scroll this up. and over a bit. So this, when you see this, this here is when the cloud function is deployed, and we're still getting handler is not a function. I'm not sure. This is a weird error. What does this mean? Function wrappers. Handler is not handler is not a function. Let's Google this and see if anybody else has run into this. Cloud function. Handler is not a function. Using Firebase and Dialogflow. I registered it with onRequest and tried calling it as a callable function. Maybe there's something wrong in my definition, but because it's registered as a database trigger. This is one that I know works, the translation job one. Functions database, ref, and then on create. And we're doing functions database, ref. The other one had a trailing slash, that shouldn't matter. And then on delete, I mean, that looks right. And then let's see the one, this is the one I said I know was working. Let's make sure it's set up similar way. This one is in the OpenAI folder. Yeah, it's just the async function taken in a snapshot in context. So this one is taken in a snapshot in context. It looks right. Let me try deleting the function. Sometimes functions get deployed in kind of a, especially when there's an error deploying them, sometimes it's a bit in a limbo and then it doesn't update correctly. So I'm not sure that's the case here. There may be something I'm doing wrong, but let's see if we can redeploy it and see if that helps. So I just deleted it completely and now I'm redeploying. I don't have anybody using this. I'm the only user of it, so there's no problem taking anything out in production. And gonna take a minute or so. Let's go back to our overlay. So we only need one of these data structures. Current hand ref. This is the current hand. If the current hand if the current hand and current hand dot players is our array of players in this hand, which could be 1 to 9 is how many we're going to allow in a hand. And this was a conversion we were doing to make it into an array. We don't need that anymore. So the current hand, and then let's put players. Do we even need this? Let's do it because I'm gonna be manipulating that a bit, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So this players equals this dot current hand dot players. Okay, and then gonna see some errors on screen like that because this is the live overlay I'm using. So when I save it, it sometimes refreshes in real time. What it usually does. So this is the end of that. Yeah, technically that's closing out everything. So this is going to put the current players array in here. So we could also say else, well, players is initialized as an empty array, so we probably don't need to, change that. Or do we? Actually, we do, because when we delete the ref out, if we don't change this, when it's null, it won't be reinitialized. So let's do this else. Yeah, it's correct. So that should be displaying the players from the right place now. They'll show up on the screen, the players and the hands they have underneath the next hand, the clock. That's where they're supposed to be showing up. Let's see, this is wrong. This is where we disconnect listening for changes. So we want to put this to current hand. That's the one we're listening to. This on value will listen to all changes to the current hand ref. Anytime this is wrong too, so we'll make that a current hand. Stream chat poker current hand is correct. Okay. That looks good for this view. Now let's see. Let's see our deployed function that it did deploy. Let's try triggering it again. I'm not super confident this is going to work, but let's try. So we put a value in there that should do nothing, and then deleting it should trigger our function again. So we just did it at 414. Handler is not a function. This is kind of baffling. I'm not sure what this means. Let's ask GitHub Copilot. Let me ask ChatGPT directly. Maybe they'll have an idea, because I'm going to show show my different files to ChatGPT and see what it thinks. I am getting the following error after triggering a Firebase function with a onDelete database trigger. Here is the function. Here is the trigger and function definitions. So let's see. So here's our trigger. Chat poker new hand. And then from twitch.js. And then here is our function definition. Let's see what my best friend ChatGPT can say. Given details what you provide is not very clear. It's correctly initialized, that's not the problem. Correct import of the get new deck function. That's in Twitch.js, that shouldn't be a problem. Adding a try catch thing is a good idea. Permissions is not a problem. I'm using the admin API. Function deployment issues. This is what I'm worried about. Cloud function logs. I'm checking those. Where do you think I got the error message? I don't think I have any more details on the error. Oh, I do. Can I just copy this whole thing? Full error. So maybe we can do a try catch. I know it's something stupid. It's got to be something stupid. Oh, I just figured it out. Well, it just told me, but I'm an idiot. Yeah, so if I look at these other functions that were here before, I never actually exported these functions, my new functions that I wrote this morning. Gosh, it was dumb. Okay, that's not one, that's an internal function. This is, I just said there's a constant in this file, I never exported it, so they're not available in the other file. It's just being stupid. Okay, so we have to redeploy all of these. That's okay. At least I figured it out. I'm quite sure that's the problem. So let's redeploy this. And that's definitely it. So again, the idea of this, what I'm building here is I'm working on my overlay and my cloud functions related to it to add a poker game to the chat. So we're going to be able to type !deal in the chat, and it'll give you your hand. And every 10 minutes, as you see the countdown in the upper right, every 10 minutes there'll be a flop, turn, and river dealt, and we'll see who wins between the players in chat. So that's the idea. Right now everything's broken, so I'm trying to get it working again. I had quite a bit of this working on Friday and Saturday. I had even more working. It was even getting really nice, and then I started adding a bunch of stuff and decided to refactor because of some issues with the code. So I refactored everything and everything's broken. So now we're going to fix it today. I think the lucky hand function should still be working. No, that's broken too. Okay, that's good to know. Everything's broken. That's okay. We'll fix it all today. Why is lucky hand broken, by the way? Maybe the function deploy? Oh, I did. Yeah, I changed the name of that to chat poker get lucky hand. Get my lucky hand is called, I think. And let's look at that one. It probably just needs to be redeployed as well. Okay, so the new poker hand deployed, so let's try that again. So let's go trigger that in the database. So we make current hand, any data here. Deleting this should trigger it, which should re-add in the current hand with a deck, flop, turn, and river. So let's see if that works. Hey, that was quick too. There's the deck. There should be what, 47 cards in the deck, so 0 to 46. 46, that's a good sign. So these are the cards that are left in the deck. Here's the flop. Queen of spades, 10 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. The river, 5 of clubs. The turn, jack of hearts. So these are calculated ahead of time, but they're not shown anywhere. So they're just going to be calculated in the database. So that's great. So that means that first function is working. Now let's deploy. Which next? The deal random hand. Probably the next one to deploy. Let's fix the get lucky hand, because I didn't even change any of the code on that one. So that's just a question of deploying it, I think. Hold on. So let's redo function deploy and deploy that one. And then, yeah, so then this deal random hand is the one that's going to actually give the players a poker hand. So that's an important what? That's going to give the players a poker hand. These three are for calculating odds, percentage chance of which hand would win on the pre-flop, on the flop, on the turn. We're not going to calculate on the river, but we'll calculate the winner after that. This is the one we just got working. And then there should be showdown as well here. So this is just some little code I was using for testing purposes, to have it trigger every 2 minutes instead of every 10 minutes. We may have to reenact that drastic. I'm going to rename it in the Twitch one as well to Chat Poker Showdown, my definition. Showdown, which I already did, so that's good. I changed that. So that the showdown is going to display the flop, display the turn, and display the river, and then calculate who the winner is. But as I said, it's not going to be 100% working yet because I broke everything. So I restructured the data so it's all pointing to the wrong data in my overlay. So this function works. So let's try. I'm going to go into chat and do !deal, and it broke, which is interesting. A remote server returned 404, which is oh yeah, that's the lucky hand is the one I did, excuse me. Lucky hand, let's try that again. Oh no, I know why, because I changed the name of it, so I need to change the definition in my Nightbot. Because my Nightbot is the one that's looking up the code, so I need to change the call I make. So here, instead of get my lucky hand, it's going to be chat poker get my lucky hand. And I changed that so that all my functions are collected together in the logs and so forth. Chat poker get my lucky hand. Let's change that. Let's try that again. Hey, okay, the lucky hand is back in action. So anybody can do that in chat. It's going to calculate your lucky hand based on your Twitch ID. So this is the only place I cheat in the in all of this. I'm not going to cheat for myself in the poker game I'm making, but Blind Valet, you can see in the logo of Blind Valet, there's Jack 9 of Hearts is in the logo. So I kind of cheated to make the Twitch ID Blind Valet Jack 9 of Hearts. So So anyways, okay, so deal, we need to change this one as well, because now this one is going to be chat poker deal random hand. I'll submit that. And then I need to redeploy that function since I renamed it. So chat poker deal random hand. So redeploy that. Now that's going to put the hands into the current hand.players. And to show that in the overlay, I go back to my overlay code. The overlay is built with Vue.js. So if I look at my overlay code, this is the dealt hands view. So this is show all the players. Now I think the only thing I need to change here is this. It's not the last hand display, it's current hand. Okay, so this is basically this area here. I need to decide. This is where I display the odds for the player. And I think I changed everything about the way this is. So I'm just going to delete this for now. Or just put it in a placeholder. That's fine. They aren't going to work. They're not being calculated yet, but so that's fine. So we just want to display the hands. And I think this should do it. So let's see if our function is deployed. Not quite. So let me go to, let me skip ahead a little bit and look at one of the odds functions. Yes, this is all the odds are going this way. So they're going to store it in stream poker, chat poker, current hand, players, the player in the array, then odds, which not sure why it's capitalized, odds, and then the step. The step will be pre-flop, flop, or river. So it's in the players. Okay, and then we have to decide which ones to display. And which one to display is based on the showdown code. And in the showdown, we're using this display field. We're putting in ready when the flop or the board has come out with the cards face down. Then we set it to flop when the flop has been should be turned over. And so when it's on flop, we should display the flop percentages, win percentages. When it's on turn, the turn percentages, and when it's on river, the river percentages. So current hand display, river will decide which ones to display. And then odds, the player, odds, and then the tag to show the odds. Okay, so deal random hand has been done. So we can try deal. And my function crashed. That's okay. This file's not saved. What did I change and not save? Compare with saved. Oh yeah, I changed the odds. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And that is on one of the calc odds ones. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what's in the logs for that function, the deal random hand function. Looks like there was a change to some of the data. We don't have any players here. Let's see. So this is not the right log. This is not the right log. Let's go back to the functions. Chat poker deal random hand is the one I want. Okay, so looks like it did some things. Setting players. It found Blind Valley's Twitch ID, gave it cards, and then players ref is not defined. So let's see. that's on. As I said, I haven't tested any of this, so it's normal. There's bugs. It doesn't give me a line number or anything, but oh yeah, it does. 604. So let's close this. 604. Players ref not defined. Let's see. Let's see. Current, we have a deck ref. Current hand players ref is the one we want, not players ref. So just change that and redeploy. Go back to our overlay while it's loading. So here's for the odds. We want to say this to decide which odds we're going to show. So if not current hand display, if it's not being displayed yet, or let's just make sure if not current hand, then we're not even going to be here, so that's not a problem. If not current hand display, or so that means we haven't drawn the cards, you know, like right now, 5 minutes out from getting the hand, we want to display the preflop. So or current hand display equals to ready. Then we'll do the preflop, the player dot odds dot preflop. In that case, actually what we're going to do is we're going to do, so if it's ready, hold on. Why don't we do the if up here and just make 3 of these. Instead of getting too complicated here, let's just do it here. If not current display or current display equals ready, then we'll display the preflop odds. Okay. What else is wrong here? If not that, or it's ready. That looks right. Okay, so let's actually delete these and copy the other one. That's clean. Our function should be deployed, so let's try the deal again in chat. Hey, got some cards. Let's see how the data looks. Deck is now down to 42. That's probably because of the bug before where it took some cards out. That's fine though. And we've got a players array with the first player. And we got the cards for Blind Valet. So that's good. Now let's look. Oh, and our overlay it's showing. It looks a bit small on there, but let me see how it looks on my main screen. Let's see on the Twitch channel. I'm I guess when it's on full screen you can see the hands, but they may be a little bit small. We might want to make them a little bit bigger. Sorry about the endless mirror effect here. But it's a little bit on the small side. But you can see nice little card shapes. 7 of clubs, 6 of hearts. It's a connector, not a suited connector. We don't have any stats right now. The flop odds haven't been calculated, so that's the next thing I'm going to do. I have a little, only for my ID can do this, but I can add in extra players. So you can see I can add in a parameter as a name. It only works for my ID. So we don't want everybody adding in plenty of players, but I can add in extra players just for testing purposes. So deal Joe. Somebody got the 10 deuce, Doyle Brunson. Some garbage hands. And so yeah, so that's good. Let's deploy the showdown code next. That's the next one we need to debug. Because there probably will be some bugs in it. So chat poker showdown. Down. Not sure it's gonna, probably won't deploy before the end of this hand, but that's okay. So so that's looking pretty good. I think the cards look good on screen. It should. We can test to see if it puts more than 9 people in, which it shouldn't. What can we come up with? Say Liam. No one. Just random names. Random. Oh, it didn't take no one. I think sometimes with Nightbot, if you do too many commands from the same person in a short period, then it blocks. I think that's the problem. Actually, it'd be kind of interesting to see what the percentage of these are with a lot of these garbage commands. Louise has a pocket pair. That's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should be up to 9 people max. Let's call it Jim. Chris. So that's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next one should get rejected. Reject. No spots left. Wait for next hand. Okay, so that's one thing we're gonna have to do later is do a wait list. But I can see I've got room on the screen, so I can make these bigger. It's gonna take up more space length width-wise, but I can make them a bit bigger, which I think they're a tad on the small side. So I guess it depends on how big people's screens are, but certainly on mobile it'll be way too small. But not sure that's gonna be able to be fixed. But and then if I delete the current hand manually, they should go away on the overlay, which they have. And we should get a new deck, flop, turn, and river, which have come out. So so that's working. So deal. So if anyone wants to join in, they can always issue a deal command and get a hand of poker dealt. So see if you can beat my King 9. Pretty nice hand, King 9, not bad. Better than average. So that's the showdown code. So that's the next step. The showdown code runs every 10 minutes right now. So I may make that a bit shorter while I'm developing it here. So let's find that showdown definition here. So here's the definition. I had this code making it run every 2 minutes. And so that's why I'm called it 2s, but it's running right now. It's hard coded to run every 5 minutes. I mean, every 10 minutes along with the clock. So for testing purposes, that's not the easiest. So let's make it every 5 minutes. Again, this is just code for the testing. We can comment out all this. Call this intervals. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Okay, so that should run every 5 minutes. Let's redeploy that just to get that going. Again, I'm probably going to miss the next interval. But let's see if it did run the last time and just died out or not. So Chat Poker Showdown, there's our function. You can see, so right now here it's defined to run every 10 minutes. Context only handler is not a function. Context only handler is not a function. Is this another problem with my not being exported or something? This one is exported. I know here I messed that up. That's gonna give me an error. I already did, and I spelled it wrong. Sure. 2 complications. So schedule Twitch Chat Poker Showdown. Functions pub sub on the schedule. Okay, let's see this again. Context only. Context is only is correct because it's just a scheduled function, so it doesn't need a. It shouldn't need a snapshot. And then the code here, I just redid. Probably made some mistakes, but we'll see. Let's add in a couple more players. Jojo. I don't know why I always use Jojo as a test user. I don't know why that always comes back. Let's say Antoine. Oops, Anthony I put. Chris. Ooh, pocket pair for Chris. So we got those. We could make those a bit bigger right now, which would be doable. But we're gonna have to. That's gonna be have to change the size of the cards and different things. But could do that. But I really want to test this showdown, which is going to come in 3 minutes. We'll test it. And let's get it working first. So I don't know if that's. I think people can see the cards. Also, the cards should show the card. You do see your cards in the chat, so at least you see that as well. So even on a mobile screen, you'll be able to see that. Right now, the showdown, I've deactivated the chat commands from the showdown. Because the way I was doing it, the way I was connecting, it was listening to chat commands as well. And I think that was affecting the performance of the function. So the showdown has been deployed. Let me see if there was an error in the deployment. That could already be an error, but doesn't look like there's an error in the deployment, so that much is good. So we'll see in 2 minutes and 30 seconds if that executes. Actually, it's not going to show on screen either. We'll have to see if it works in the database, but the overlay is also that shows the board is also going off of the wrong data at the moment. Oops, I just broke everything again. Undefined. Oh yeah. Properties of undefined reading preflop. Yeah. So that's player. It should be there. So put odds. Oh yeah, I wasn't finished with this when I saved it. So this would be if the current hand display, and this is flop, then we want to show the flop odds. If it's turn, we want to show the turn odds. And then we're not going to show odds when the river comes out because the winner is going to be at 100%, of course. But we will indicate who the winner is. That has to be, that I haven't coded yet, but let's see. So that much is done. And then the big board, this is all going off the wrong data. So all we need is current hand. Yes, so so this would be current hand. Just keep an eye on the clock so that when it gets down to 0, we'll go take a look in the database to see if things change. It should change progressively to see the flop come out and then the turn come out and the river come out. And that's going to mainly be seen in the display endpoint. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Display ready. So that should show the flop. It's not working yet. Flop, turn, and river. Okay. So they're doing it progressively, and then it should store this as the last hand and delete the current hand. That's what's supposed to happen. It may have crashed at this point. That was a pretty good start. Okay, flop is not defined. So we did get an error. Let's see, Twitch 773, flop is not defined. Okay. 773. Okay, so it's let's see. So on the showdown, the current hand what is this doing? Oh, so this is at the start of it. It reads in the current hand. If there's no current hand objects, or if there's no players, this is going to be the case the more often. If there's no players in the hand, then we're going to delete the hand, because if there's no players, there's no reason to do a flop, turn, and river. So the current hand is put into this snapshot. So where I put flop, turn, and river, I need to get current hand dot flop, current hand dot turn, and current hand dot river. So here, we'll do current hand. dot flop, current hand dot turn, current hand dot river. That should be good. Okay, so let's redeploy that. Meanwhile, we'll try and get the overlay fixed for the board that's going to show the cards on screen. I think they might be over my face when they come out, but they'll come out on screen. Might have to change my layout of where my camera is and everything, but that's okay. So current hand. So let's call this the current hand ref instead of last hand. Like as I said, we changed. This is because I changed all the data structure of how I was storing things. Current hand ref. Let's call this current hand. Sure, let's do write out the data just for debugging, and then we quit listening to it when we unmount this, just to do some cleanup. Display card, yes. Now there is another bug that I'm going to run into is I changed the way the cards are stored. They were stored as a character string before, and now I store them as an array of strings. So I might run into that at some point as well. So basically, let's just do a this is all going to be current hand instead of last hand. Just change that everywhere. Oh, there we got a flop on screen. Oh yeah, that's the problem, is that right now I'm displaying the flop before it comes out, which is the problem. Oh, I'm gonna look at the database because my 5-minute mark is coming up, so we're gonna be doing display ready, display flop, display turn. It should go next. Oh, you can't see it because of the card overlay. Display turn, display river, and then it should delete this current hand if it doesn't crash again. It's looking like it crashed again. It should generate the winners as well. Oh, it did generate the winners. So the winner was Blind Valet with my King 9. What did I do? I made a... Can't see that either. It's underneath. Looks like I made two pair kings and 9s with a jack kicker. Very nice hand. And it says final rank 2 pair. So that did work. Now I just got to fix the display and fix the function because it did not delete out the current hand. So something crashed again. That was another bug. Let's go back to our logs for that function. What happened? Finished with error. Client is not found. Oh yeah, it might be a chat command that's still hanging around. That could be possible. Oh yeah, so this is right now I've deactivated for the moment the updates in chat for the hands, so I'm just gonna toggle these off for the moment. And this is the cleanup where I was saying I was gonna be deleting these. It's gonna store the current hand in the last hand place, and then it's gonna remove the data points for the other ones and remove the display setup. Now this, I'm removing the entire current hand, so I don't need to remove the display. This is just superfluous. So I delete out the deck. And delete out the current hand. The deck is not part of the current hand now. Let me check that. and get the cards off my face. That'd probably be good. Actually, if I delete the current hand, it should do that. No, actually they'll come back when the new one comes in. Should get 5 new cards in front of my face shortly. I know, because the display is not on, so that's good. Okay, so let's see. So we fixed that, so let's redeploy that function. And then for the overlay, we need to fix the overlay so it only shows up when appropriate. So if the current hand and the display, then we want to show something. We're going to show all 5 cards. They'll either be face down or face up when that display is gone. So if this is ready, it'll show all 5 cards face down. Now, to decide if we want to put it face up or not, so current hand flop, this shows the first card of the flop, second card of the flop, third card of the flop. And we want to do it if current hand dot display is equal to flop, actually, flop. Display. So if the current hand display tag is set to flop, then we show the flop. And that's where we saw it came out. It came out the flop, a few seconds later the turn, a few seconds later the river. And so that's what we want. And why is my overlay still showing hands? It shouldn't be, right? Yeah, I just refreshed it. And so next hand is going to come and go without a flop. That's okay. So for these first 3, it's going to be if it's flop, they'll all turn at the same time. There's actually an animation so that the cards flip, which is kind of fun. Then okay, so this is going to be a bit more complicated because it's going to be, these should actually be if flop or turn or river. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. But if it's in any of these 3, it should show, because the flop, of course, you're not going to hide it again when the turn comes out. So let's do that. And then this one will be only if it's turn or river, not if it's flop. And this one will be only if it's river. Right, so the river card only comes out at the very end. And then when the hand is deleted and we move to the next hand, the card should get off of my face. Yeah, so I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. So yeah, let's prepare another hand. So anybody watching can also do !deal to get some cards dealt. I think again I did 2 commands too fast in a row. No, I didn't. Okay, Queen 6 for Blind Valet. Let's put Jeff in. Let's put in what? Harvey. And now they're not showing on screen. Why are they not showing on screen? Did my thing crash again? Yeah, there we go. So there's Blind Valet, Jeff, and Harvey. Okay, so next hand is going to be, it's going every 5 minutes right now, so the timer is not correct. At 5 minutes, it should do it as well as at 0. This should now show the cards and flip the cards. Now, what was it that crashed? Yeah, it was the client display, which I fixed and pushed in. The client was the chat integration. So if that's working, then the next thing is to get our odds working, our odd calculations. Odds will show what the percentage chance of that each hand wins. So we have to deploy these functions, but they haven't been deployed yet. So let's do that. So we'll deploy the pre-flop odds first, because those are the ones we'll see right away. Then once we get the odds working, if the flop, turn, and river is working, the next thing is to actually highlight who the winner is, which isn't being, it's being calculated, but it's not being highlighted. So we need to do that, which would be should be good. And then yeah, so then we show who the winner is. That's a bit complicated because sometimes it can be multiple winners. You can have chop pots where people are tied for the win. So maybe we'll show up to 2 winners. In other ways, otherwise just show that it's a chop pot, or because sometimes you could have 4 people tie. You could have 9 people tie theoretically, because what happens if it comes out on the flop on the board with a straight flush on the board? Well, everybody's hand is going to be the straight flush, so everybody's going to tie for the same hand. So okay, so we have our next hand coming in. Let's see how this works. In 5 seconds, we should see the cards. Big unveil. There's our cards. The flop. The turn. And the river. Very nice. So that was successful. So we had the cards come out. We still have a holdover from before. We're showing an object down in the bottom is the old design before I fixed it, or before I replaced it with the actual cards. So cool. So our showdown worked, and the hands went away, meaning that it set up the next hand. It looks like. So it went through the whole process and deleted it. So it looks like we had it run with no errors for the first time. Finished with status okay. Code 200. Very nice. Let's put in a few more players. Oops, I did it the same command and twice in a row will not do anything. So again, this passing in a name to add another player, a fake player, is only available to the Blind Valet account. That's just something I can use for testing. But the idea is that it'll be viewers that play. So any viewer can. Right now, it works for any viewer. If you type in !deal, it's going to put your Twitch ID as one of the players. And if you do it twice in a row, well, it's just going to give you your same cards back because you're already sitting at the table, as we say. Okay, so that's working. What did I say was next? We need to show the percentages. So I just did the pre-flop deployment. I'm going to test this one first because they're all modeled the same way. So it passes a player's array to the set table odds function, and so it's going to be the same for all of them. So I can actually see actually adding a new player should trigger that function. So it's been deployed. Excuse me. Actually adding a new player should do that. Jojo, one of my favorite tester names for some random reason. And so that should have triggered the function, because this, if you look in the index file, calc preflop is triggered on create of a new player in the player's current hand players. So registering them should trigger this function. Something's broken in the chain because they should be showing up on the showing up underneath the player's name. The percentage chance to win should be showing up there. So when everything's working, it'll be showing there. Let's see if that function had errors. Well, first we can see if there's actually any change in the data. So if we look at the players, right now there's no odds set on these players, so there's the function probably crashed. So let's look at our functions and calc new player calc preflop. That's what we want. And definitely current hand players ref val is not a function, so I might just probably have a typo somewhere. And it found the player that was added, so the function is triggering. And then current hand players ref is a typo, probably. Okay, so current hand players ref. Stream chat poker current hand players. That looks good. Why would val not be a function? It's a snapshot. Oh, it's the ref. Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, of course, that's what I need to do is actually call the command. So let's do that's not right. Oh no, it is doing. I'm doing the one's value. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I see what the problem is. This should be the ref. That's what a ref is. It's just like that. And then we can say snapshot equals the ref value. There we go. And then this should be snapshot.val. Should give me my list of players. I'm not checking to see if players is defined because it should be defined because we just added one, right? That's what actually triggered this function, is adding a player. So this should never be null. And then I'm going to call the player odds to try and the set table odds to try and calculate the preflop odds for this. So let's redeploy. Well, another thing I wanted to check is to see if I stored the last hand correctly, which it did. Under chat poker, we have last hand. So this is the last hand where we did a flop, turn, and river. Has the players that were registered. What it doesn't have is the winners, which we were supposed to calculate. I may not have stored winners in the right place, because it should show the winners also in the last hand. I might have missed the whole the whole flop, turn, and river that just came out, because those were the players that were in before. I'll have to check on the next one. Let's see. Deal me in. Pocket nines, 2 black nines. Isn't that what the hand that Phil Hellmuth won the World Series of Poker with? Main event. Pocket nines. His first bracelet. 2 black 9s as well, I think. So let's call this Helmuth in honor of Helmuth. Even though I'm not a big fan. But so we'll test this next one to see if the winners is calculated, because I thought I had seen it calculated in the showdown. Let's find that showdown. Should be towards the end of the function. Current hand winners. Okay, so I think I know what happens. So so let's do this. Let's do winners equal this. We'll set the winners into the database, but we also want to set in the local copy of the current hand, we want to set the winners there so that then when we save it, why do I have 2 weights here? I'll see that afterwards. So when we save it here, this is where we save it to last hand. We want it to also be in the current hand that we're saving. So that should fix that little bug. Oh, I had a bug in my deploy. Snapshot has already been declared. What am I doing? What am I doing? Pre-flop odds. Oh yeah, snapshot is here. Oh yeah, because this one passes in the snapshot, of course. So let's call this players snap. And we don't even actually need this. This was just to make sure we were getting a value in. So let's redeploy that function, and then we'll redeploy the showdown. Oh, there's the flop, turn, and river for this one. So that still won't store the winners, but we'll get that going shortly. Oops. Okay, so we got a few players for the next hand that's going to come through in 4 minutes. Let's see if we can get some stuff fixed before then. Got 5-minute cycles to fix bugs before the next one comes around, and since I'm not using an emulator, I have to wait for the functions to deploy. So let's see. So we're deploying the odds one. We'll see if that fixes the problem for calculating the preflop odds, and we're going to redeploy our showdown, which should store the winners of the last hand into the last hand object in the database. Again, anyone watching in chat that wants to participate in the poker hand, just type !deal into chat, and you can get dealt a hand. See how you fare against my 7-6 offsuit. Okay, so that one's deployed. Let's now deploy the showdown as well. Make sure that goes. So this is again the function that will figure out who the winners are, and now we've fixed it, so it should store the winners of the last hand in the database. So oh, my overlay is not handling accents. What the heck? How is this not using? It's not using Unicode. The heck is that? That must be from Nightbot, is it? Let me see, just put a few accenting characters through. Yeah, it does not like accents. So it's getting URL encoded. So that's okay. So I need to. Not sure where that's coming. That's going to be coming from the database. I look at current hand in the players. Yeah, it's storing it in database. Why isn't it storing as Unicode? That's weird. Must be getting it into my function call. So this could be coming from, actually this is coming from, yeah, okay. This is coming, it's because it goes through Nightbot. Nightbot is the chat bot. It captures the, it takes the Twitch ID of the user and puts it into, it puts it into a URL, and the URLs can't take accents, so they encode them, and so I need to unencode them when they come through. So I also have a bug in this one. I thought TO user when I first set it up was the Twitch user, but it's actually the first command that comes through. I'm not sure why it's called that, but and so if you don't put in another command, then that will do it. Let me just try that. Lucky hand. Should still work, yeah. Jack 9 of hearts. Oh, there's the flop, turn, and river. So that's working. Let's see what happened with our... we still don't... I didn't check this for the pre-flop odds to see if they worked or not, but let's see our function. Calc pre-flop. Let's get to the last iteration of it. Oh, it looks like it worked. So let's check... let's check the last hand. We got the winners in the last hand, so that worked as well. Who was the winner of that last hand? It was Francois with the problem with the accents. And he had a two pair aces and fours. Nice. Very nice hand. Okay, and so let's look at players. Odds. Hey, that's a good sign. And pre-flop. Look at that. Percentages. I wasn't paying attention to see if they displayed correctly on the screen or not. I guess I'll check the next one in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. But that's cool. So let's get some more people in. Ooh, that's almost my lucky hand. Very close. Jack 8 of hearts instead of Jack 9 of hearts. Let's put in Phil. Put in Joseph. Put in Santa. And you can see that the odds are calculating as it goes. So Santa one didn't come through. Sometimes when the same user does a lot of commands in a row, then it's not captured. So pre-flop odds have been calculated, and they're showing up. Oh, I see how they're showing up on the screen. They're showing up as an object, of course, because I didn't do the dot win. But that's fine. It's a quick fix. So this is on our dealt hands. We're showing odds pre-flop, but that's an object. It's not a string. So this should be dot win to show the win percentage. There's also a tie percentage that would probably be good to show as well. Yeah, so these can be, to be careful, these can be undefined. Okay, so there you can see that for this hand, Blind Valet has the best chances with Jack 8 of Hearts. I have a 37% chance of winning. That's pretty good. I like my odds. It's in a smaller window on my side screen, so it's a bit small for me to see it that far. I'm not sure. That's one thing we wanted to fix, is to make that a bit bigger. Here's a bit bigger view. 37%. Santa 33% with his King 4. Again, anybody in chat who's watching on chat can join in. Exclamation point deal. It'll give you some cards. Oh yeah, I already did it for me, so let's do another one. Let's do Roger. Roger's got a King 5, so right now it's recalculating the odds. While it's recalculating the odds, the old ones are still up. That's questionable whether we want to keep those or we want to recalculate. I also want to see how I can make that go faster because you see it's pretty slow, especially when you have more players. It takes a while to recalculate. So, because there's a shared king between Santa and Roger, their odds have gone down and mine have gone up. So now a 40% chance to win the hand, which is kind of funny. Put an extra person in there, and I guess the overall tie percentages probably went up as well. If they hit a king, they're going to tie. So there's a couple things I want to do. I want to make these a bit bigger on screen. I want to make I want to order them by percentage chance to win as well. We should have a flop incoming, so let's just see how this comes through. And then we'll push out the other calculation because we'll lose our stats. We're going to lose our percentages when the flop hits. So you can see we just lost the percentages. Why are we not seeing the board? It's weird. What happened to our board? That was strange. It's true I didn't refresh the thing lately, but not sure why the board didn't show. There's an error. Properties of undefined. Cannot read properties of undefined reading win. In my dealt hand. So there was a little bug. Not sure if that's what caused the... no, that was the error beforehand. I don't think that's the current one. Why didn't my flop turn and river show? That's weird. Let's try another round. Ten six. Phil's got the old Jack Deuce. Queen 5. What does the doctor have? King Queen. Oof. Brad gets a 10-3. So you can see these should recalculate. We have those recalculating. Let's do the functions to calculate the flop, turn, and river odds as well. Those we said we wanted to deploy. Those should be good because they're... actually, I probably have to make the same changes I made to some other ones. This other one. Because it goes through basically the same thing. But it calls in a different... some different properties to that function. So Let's do I think this will all be the same, right? Yeah, this will be all be the same. Everything up to calling the table odds function should be the same. So it's getting the players, and then it's getting the... so this one is a little different because we need the current hand, not just the players. This one gets the players directly. And we need the current hand. So, okay, so this we need to adjust. Again, we need the current hand because we need to know what the flop is to calculate the odds for the flop. When we are calculating a pre-flop, all we need is the players. We don't need anything else. So we can go down to the players endpoint child, and not the hand. So this I kind of did the same thing, the same hack job here. So let's do constant current hand snap equals the current hand ref value, and then current hand is off of the snap, and then current hand flop, or if there's no flop yet calculated, there should always be on a new hand. But if there's not, then there's a problem. We'll just return. If there's only one player, we don't want to do it as well because their odds are going to be 100%. And so then we pass in the flop to the table odds, and we pass in the label of where to set it in the database. So that should be good. And now let me copy this one, and we'll modify it for the turn odds. And then we'll just take the word flop, this was still flop too, which is wrong. Oh no, that was actually right, because this is okay, this is right. So this should be turn, if not turn, or if there's only one player. And here we're doing a concatenation. We're combining the flop array of cards, the 3 cards there, combining that with the 1 card array of the turn into a single array that's going to be the board, and passing the turn as the option. So those 2 functions should now be good. So let's deploy those. I missed the flop turn river there. Not sure if it came out or not. So I don't see it on my screen in front of me. I only see it off to the side, so I have to pay attention to when it's coming out. Joe, Isaiah. Okay, so let's deploy that. Calculate the flop odds, and then the turn odds. Can't imagine why the board didn't show. It seems weird. We got 2 minutes to the next hand. I'm using a package to calculate the package I found. Now it's unsupported, but it's a package called Poker Odds Calc. That calculates poker odds. There's some things you can do with the command line that I haven't figured out yet how to do with the API. Like getting the number of setting the number of iterations. There's a one where you can do a limit in the command line, but again, I haven't figured out how that works in the API. I'm sure there's a way, but I haven't figured that out yet. I found the private variable where it's stored, but there's no function. I don't really want to edit the code yet, but we'll see. So let me just refresh this overlay just to be sure that that's working. And then we'll see if we're getting any errors in the console here, because this is the same overlay that's showing up on the screen just on my local machine here. So let's see, Blind Valet is 10-4 and is the favorite in this hand. Pair of twos and 5-3 of diamonds. Now on a real poker table, I'd rather have either of those other hands, pair of twos or 5-3 of diamonds, because they're much easier to play after the flop. Oh, the cards did come out. That's good. There's the flop. I hit two pair. I'm looking good. Oh, you hit a pair on the river, but it's okay. I still had my. I still win. Okay, so that looked pretty good actually. I'm not showing who the winner is yet, but we don't have our flop and turn odds yet, but those are coming. And now in a first iteration before I did a refactor this morning, I was calculating on the fly the odds, but you can see they calculate pretty slow. And so I changed that to anytime a new player is added, I calculate the pre-flop odds, I calculate the flop odds, and I calculate the turn odds. And that way, we can always know who we already have the stats when we go from flop turn to river, from pre-flop to flop to turn. We already have the odds and we can just display them instantly. So let's see if our function deployed. It did. And now let's deploy the turn odds. And if anyone wants to help me test, just do exclamation point deal, and you'll get dealt some cards. No money involved. No betting. No, not even any play money involved. We're just comparing cards, but it's a little chat game. Let's see, exclamation point deal. Homer. Bart. Lisa. Just random names. Marge. Again, some of these commands, I think it's just Nightbot not letting you run too many commands in a row. So let's see if those commands have run properly, because I should have now for all the players. Let's see, I've got pre-flop odds, but I don't have my flop odds yet. So there may be an error there. This is the pre-flop one. Let's look at the log for the flop. It's the same trigger. They both get triggered in the same way. Let's see. There's an error. Flop is not defined. Okay. At 880 in the code. Current hand flop. Flop is not defined. Is that within the function, or is that yeah, 664. It's within the set table odds function. This flop is not defined. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, because it's not flop, it's board. Each time I pass in the whole board, so the variable coming in is board, not flop. So that was just a typo. It's even said if board set it to flop. That was just a copy and paste error. Okay, it should fix it for both of them actually. So I should really only need to deploy one of them. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I'm never sure how that works. So I have the function defined that calls a local function. And I have two functions that both call this function. I'm not sure if I missed it. I missed again if the odds showed on the screen. Well, I guess they didn't because there was a bug. So two cloud functions call both the same locally defined function. If you just if you make a bug fix in the local function and you redeploy one of the functions, does it fix it for both of them? I'm not sure actually. Something to test. Okay, what's next? As soon as this deploys, we'll verify that that the stats work for the turn and for the flop. Again, we don't have stats in the river because it's over. One person, whoever is going to win, is going to be at 100%, and the other is going to be at 0. So let's deploy, just to be safe, the flop as well. And now the turn one at least was redeployed correctly. So if we add a new player, it should recalculate. When you add a new player to the table, it recalculates pre-flop, flop, and turn odds. Because as soon as you add a player, of course, the odds change for all the other players as well. So you have to recalculate. So just adding a player now, let's add me to the table. Pair of 8s for me. So that should trigger the function to recalculate the turn odds. Let's look at that one. The turn is the one we just redeployed. The other one is deploying now. Calculated turn odds for 5 players. That looks good. So let's look in our database. So that's last hand. So that's okay. Players, cards, odds, pre-flop and turn. Look at that. 0%. I was drawing dead on the turn. Or I will be drawing dead on the turn. That's harsh. Pre-flop, I was 23% to win. Drawing dead on the turn. Ouch. Homer has what? He had 1.3% or 19% to win. 0 on the turn. Man, somebody hammered the turn, right? Let's see this hand when it plays out. We got 1 minute and 13 seconds. I'll watch it this time. Let's see the hand. So maybe it's what's gonna happen? Maybe why am I showing 2 percentages as well? What the heck is this? Am I showing the tie percentage? No, what is the oh, it's showing is it showing one of the other percentages? It shouldn't be showing. Let's see, did I save this? No. Flop, turn. Pre-flop, we should only be showing pre-flop. Oh, yeah, these we should not have not current display. And this we should not have not current display. Only if it's flop or only if it's turn. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so we're back to 1% for each of them. That's good. And if we add another player, actually, we're starting another hand, right? Why are the cards not showing? It's because I refreshed, right? I messed it up. Still, I don't understand why the board doesn't show. Not sure I understand what just happened there, but let me get ready for the next hand. Because even if I refresh the screen, it should show the board because the data does say display in it. I'm not listening for an add event. I'm just looking at the data. It should have. So let's see. So is it calculating the flop odds on each of these? Yes. So we're getting pre-flop odds, flop odds, and turn odds. So that's good. And those should change immediately when the flop changes. Now, what I want to do now is I want to sort. I want to sort them with the best odds of winning to show up at the top. So in this case, Lisa has a 49% chance to win the hand with the Queen 10. Homer is at 30% with the Jack 3. So we want Lisa, Homer, and Blind Valet in that order. And so let's do whenever the current hand changes, let's sort the players array. So I want to create a sort function. Create sort function to sort players by odds to win. Now, this is the question is, I actually have two percentages stored, the percentage to win and the percentage to tie. I think it makes more sense to sort by the percentage to win plus the percentage to tie. And let me explain. For example, if two players have, both of them have pocket tens, so they have the same hand, 10, 10, 10, 10, and one other person has like king 2. The person with the king may have a better chance to win outright, but the players with the tens are going to have a better chance to chop the pot between them. And so I think in these cases, I think it makes sense to combine those two numbers for the sorting. So they would maybe show up the tens first and then the king deuce. But I don't know. I guess that's debatable. We could just sort by the win percentage. But I just want to check. I'm going to watch this flop come through because I want to make sure that that the stats are showing up correctly. So we have 30 seconds for it to come through. If I go back to my code, I'm going to miss it again. So. Five minutes is pretty good. I was doing 2 minutes before when I was testing and it was a bit fast. So who do you think? Homer, Lisa, or Blind Valet? I kind of like the Queen 10 in this case. I mean, it's the best percentage, but other two hands are pretty ugly. We gotta stop the countdown from showing as well when it gets down to... I don't know. See, I'm losing my board. I don't know why the board is not displaying. What's going on? You can see it. We saw the percentage change twice, so I definitely think that's working. But for some reason, I've lost my big board, so... I broke something. What is it saying? Oh yeah, I think I changed something in the code down here. Let me just put it back how it was. Why is my board not showing? What's up with that? Let's see what we're doing. We're looking at the current hand. This whole thing shows if there's a current hand and the display field is set. This one is shown if so if there's any value in display, then it shows all 5 cards. That's right. If we want to show it face up, if the display is flop, turn, or river, okay. For all 3 of those, that's right. If it's turn or river, we show the turn. That's right. If it's river, we show the river. I mean, that's right. I don't see any problem with this code. We're listening to it. It should be good. Why didn't we see the flop? I'll have to watch the data change to see if the display is getting set correctly. Actually, we can test this. If I set display here to ready, we should see the board. Okay, so that works. If I set it to flop, Flop turns over. Okay. I guess you can't see it right now, but if I set it to turn, the turn should show turn over. If I set the river should turn over. So this mechanism, there's nothing wrong with my component. That's definitely working. But something, the data is not getting updated somehow. And that would be a problem with the showdown function. Let's look at the logs there to see if it shows us anything. Meanwhile, I need to get some people in this hand. Exclamation point deal to play along in the chat. Steve. Ronald. Okay, so that functionality is working. So let's see we'll watch the data in real time to see what happens. If I delete the display, this should go away. So this current hand, we should see the changes coming through. Guess we don't need this thing anymore to keep the object alive. So 20 seconds. Let's see how this looks. Okay, there's a flop. There's the turn, the percentages change. Or the flop. There's the turn, the percentage changed again. And the river, the percentages go away, which is what I wanted. I guess we could leave them, guess we could calculate the river percentage as well, so you can see it. If somebody's watching the percentages, they can see it go to 100. Because I think it does calculate river percentages, which basically is just calculating the winner. Because otherwise the interface kind of gets empty and there's no percentages there. Should we do that? So this is the new one, right? So we did, and we do calculate the winners as well. So here you can see it's 2 pair, blind valet hit 2 pair. Let's do the sorting first, and then we'll see about maybe showing the river odds as well. So if we go back to dealt hands, as I said, I want to create a sort function. Console, what am I doing? Create a sort function. Create a sort function, let's just say, to sort players based on player.odds.preflop.win, and then we'll adjust it depending on what. I just like to get the basic structure coming in from player sort, we'll call it. Player sort is declared, but it's not red, of course. Let's set A equals no, let's do first if current hand dot display if not this dot current hand dot display, or this current display equals ready. No, we don't want the whole function. We're just going to set a value. Let's let stage of the hand. What do you call the stage of the hand? The card. Status. Call it preflop. So I guess we can default to preflop, and then let's change this. So then if current display equals flop, we'll say status is flop. Status assign a value, but it's never used. Okay. Else if it's turn, then status is turn. Okay. And then so we have preflop, flop, and turn. And then we'll sort by, let's change these all at once. So we'll sort by odds, status. So either odds.preflop.win or odds.flop.win or odds.turn.win. And what do you think? Include the Salut Sonso. Comment ça va? Je travaille sur mon... je pense que... Oui, salut, vous êtes français. Je travaille sur un petit jeu de chat. Donc si tu fais point d'exclamation deal, tu vas avoir des cartes et tu peux essayer de me battre. Yeah, so Senso was a Blind Valley user, one of my faithful users of Blind Valley. Oh, he's got me dominated. Jack deuce against 4 deuce. Ay, 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 ay. And then I can add in some extra players just for testing purposes if we want. Can add Doyle Brunson to play with us. That's all. Of course, Doyle Brunson against the Ace King. How unfair. But that's only a command that only I can use to add in an extra player. But I just use that for testing purposes. So we'll see if we can suck out on Doyle Brunson. So I've just been adding in the percentages to win. So we've got let's see, Doyle's the favorite with 57.5% chance to win right now. If we add another player, it's going to take a few seconds, but it'll recalculate. Let's put Phil Ivey at our table. And in a few seconds, it'll come through and recalculate the odds for that. And what I want to do is sort by the odds. So depending on what stage, because we're calculating pre-flop, flop, and turn odds, and so I want to sort those players by the odds. I think I'm going to add in the river odds as well, so I can just sort in the same way. So let's just assume that's going to be done, and I'll add in the river odds as well. It's just going to be 100% for the winner and 0% for the others, but that's okay. And so we're going to sort by the odds to win. And my question is, should we sort by the odds? Should we add the odds to win plus the odds to tie together? I think we will, because I think I'm going to display the tie odds as well going forward. So So I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this on all of these into plus tie. Ah, Durf is getting on the action. Salut, Durf. So now we've got, you can see I've made some progress on the design since Friday's stream. Durf was giving me ideas for updating the interface. So we've got some card displays. Now you're gonna see right now I'm running every 5 minutes hands. It says 10 minutes, but it's running every 5 minutes. So at 5 minutes we should see a flop, turn, and river on screen. Quite a change from the interface I had before. So I still have the last winner showing down here. I'm gonna update that, but and right now I'm working on the sorting so that that we can sort by the chance to win. And the percentages will change when we get to the flop and to the turn. You'll see the percentages change on screen, but I want to change how they're sorted as well. Durf 9-3, first hand 9-3, that's rough. But 16%, it's not that bad, really. Not that bad, 16%. So this is a player sort function that I'm going to use to just sort the players. Here comes the flop. Ace 9-8. Doyle still in the lead. Phil Ivey hit a 10. And we don't see the odds, but I think Phil wins with a pair of 10s, right? Nobody made a straight? I know that was a straight, I think. I haven't got the new interface to show the winners yet, but I think somebody hit a straight, right? Last hands. Who hit the straight? Senso. Oh yeah, the Jack Deuce. You hit the straights. Nice. You won your first hand. Beginner's luck. Friday we had somebody, Nomad, I think it was. He came on and had 7 deuces first hand and beat us with 7 deuce. Made a straight as well. Oh, ace king. Big slick for Jeff. Nice. Doyle Brunson. So here you can see the odds are starting to get calculated as the players come in. Doyle, yes. So we pre-calculate the pre-flop, flop, and turn odds so that they're quicker to show on the screen when the board comes. So yeah, so I'm working on the sorting. So I'm going to combine, I have the win percentage and the tie percentage. And I'm going to combine those, add those together to decide how we sort the players. Because maybe 2 players have a strong chances of tying, but not a big chance to outright win if they have the same hand, for example. Yeah, it's been, I've been obsessing over it. My wife is giving me dirty looks because I'm coding like crazy. Getting up in the morning early and coding. But we went for a nice walk on the coast today. So yeah, so this is the sort function. So this should be good. So I can use this now here. And so what I'm going to do is every time the players change, I'm going to call this sort function. Player sword bind to this. That's good, actually. Okay. So this passes in the sword function, and this little bind to this makes sure that in my function I have access to the current hand. So I can access that. And so so let's see. So the other thing I want to do is calculate the river odds, which I'm not doing right now. So I'm going to create a new function for that. What I've done is instead of having one big function that does a lot of different things, I'm having some functions trigger automatically based on changes in the database. So all of these functions to calculate the pre-flop, flop, and turn odds, they all trigger whenever a new player is added to the table. So I just need to calculate one of these. Let's see, copy one of these. We've got 40 seconds to the next hand. We'll make this river. And river here. Okay, so they all trigger off the same thing whenever a new player is added. But they can all run in parallel, so we can calculate the odds, because it's calculating the odds takes 5 or 6 seconds, and so this way it happens in 4 functions in parallel. So let's copy the turn function. Chat poker calc. No, what is it? New player calc turn is what we want. Oops, I just got some bug. Oh, it's probably because of the river. We can hide the overlay for a second. That's because I'm trying to display the river odds, but I haven't done that yet, so I just broke things for a second. So this is the turn function that I'm going to copy. And then we'll make this river. Make sure that there's a hand at the river. And to calculate the percentages, we'll pass in the flop concatenated with the turn, concatenated with the river. So this is the arrays of cards. And this is the label of where to store in the database, the river odds. And that should be good. So we can deploy this. I think that's good. Just a sanity check, river. Should be good. So that's what was happening, is I was trying to read data that wasn't there. So it gives an error. So as soon as that deploys, we can test the next hand. But it didn't, all the functions operated correctly, so the data is correct. So we can see who won. So the winner was Blind Valet with my ace king. Made 2 pair. Let's see. Was 50% to win on the flop. Was 64% pre-flop, and then 81% on the turn. That's the last hand. Okay. Let's see how our function is going. Guess what time is it? We can deal ourselves in. That shouldn't hurt anything. And I think I can refresh the overlay now. Try again, Durf. I don't think your command went through. Des fois, ça prend pas, je ne sais pas pourquoi. Tu peux essayer à nouveau. Fais une deuxième fois, c'est pas grave. Ça va pas changer tes cartes. Ok. 4-3 against 3 deuce. So let's see. Odds, river odds are calculating. I don't want to spoil you, but you're ahead for now, for sure. Ah. So I still have a bug in my overlay. Properties undefined reading win. Hold on. Let's see. Let me hide this for a second. Let's see. It's got to be in the browser. Let's see where this is. Let me look in my console. Cannot read properties undefined. Player sorts. It's in my player sort function. Let's see. It's in my overlay. Cannot read win of undefined. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, so there's cases where the pre-flop. Oh yeah, there's cases where the pre-flop odds are not yet. Sorry, I'm off screen. The pre-flop odds are not yet calculated, even though we're in a pre-flop state. So let's see. So let's if let's say if odds status and a dot odds status dot win, and so basically just have to make sure the odds are there that we're checking for before we try sorting it, otherwise it'll break. So we'll check for A and B. That means both players that we're checking, make sure their odds are there. So if we do that, then otherwise we just return 0, I believe would work. Which basically says they're equal. So so if none of those reached and if the values aren't there, then we just return 0. That should work. Let me show the overlay again and refresh. And we didn't see who won that last hand. We'll have to check the database again. I know we see last winner. Oh, my 3 deuce beat you. You can see down at the bottom of the screen. The 3 deuce. I spiked the double 2 pair on the board. Let's put Doyle with us again too. Doyle Brunson. Rest in peace. Ah. Cannot read properties undefined pre-flop. The heck? Because there's no odds structure yet, so we need to say if odds and B odds there we go. Okay. Ooh, pocket nines. Pocket nines for Doyle Brunson. He always gets the good hands. What is up with that? And now we see that even though I did Blind Valet first and then Doyle Brunson, and then Derf, it's sorted now by percentage. So Doyle Brunson is now at the top, then Derf, then Blind Valet. This just shows it a little bit bigger, but so they're sorted by percentage. So that's cool. So let's see on the flop, turn, and river if the percentages change based on what comes out on the cards. Derf, is it? Do you think it's too small? The text, the name, and the cards. Is it too small for you watching on stream, or is it okay? Should I make the cards and the stuff a little bit bigger? So let's see. 92% Blind Valet. Oh, I flopped a straight. Beautiful. Turn and river. Cracked his nines. Flopping a straight. Beautiful. And no, it's not rigged. I did not cheat. And I didn't really see, did it resort at the river as well? Last hand, players. Comparsa. So river 100% Blind Valet, yes. So that works. Very cool. So that's working. So what else? I want to display the winner. So let's see. But if you do the same command twice for the same hand, you're going to get the same hand back. So if you can't get new cards if you don't like them. So if we haven't had a flop yet, then you had. Oh no, you're right. You had the same hand as last hand. Oh wow. It should be random. I don't think it's. I mean, you have one chance in 52 of that happening, I guess, so. No, less than one chance in 52. You have one chance in 1,326 to get the same hand twice in a row. Strange. That's normal because we're on the same hand. I was going to do add Doyle Brunson to the table again. This time he didn't get that good of a hand. He got ace king, a pair of nines. Okay, so we fixed our bug for the display. They should be sorting now. We want to display the winner. When you said so, you said it's okay for the size. Okay, I think I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger because if we fill up the table, I still have space on the screen that I could use. Jackson. Yeah, it doesn't like when you go too many commands in a row. It's something with Nightbot that I think it's Nightbot. I'll have to check if I get what's happening there. Okay, so now it's filled up. We've got 9 players. I know I'd said that that you can play Texas Hold'em technically with 23 players, theoretically. But I think it's better if we limit it to 9 players around. One, I think it's better because you're not going to win that often if there's 23 people playing. And two, the package I'm using to calculate the odds, I think it only works up to 9 players, so that's also a problem. So yeah, so that's right now it's blocked at 9 players. So here comes the hand. Let's see. King deuce 10. What do I have? 10-9. Queen. See, I'm not seeing my river percentages. Oh yeah, I don't think I've coded that part yet. Right, I don't have a thing to display them, so let me add that in for the river. So if the display is river and the odds river win, we display that percentage. And then let's do now I think it's going to display, let me check how it displays exactly in the what the font string looks like. So if I go to last hand, hold on, last hand, winners. Who won the last hand? Jackson. So it shows up as 100.00%. Probably don't need a 0.00%, but that's fine. So 100.00%. So let's put in a conditional class. So like this, and we're going to say border purple, little twitch purple to see who wins. No, maybe not. Let's do the BV orange 500, border 4. So these are classes that we're going to add if, and so we put a condition, if the odds are equal to 100.00%. And this should be single quotes. Expected comma. Why is that not right? Let me see something. Can you only do one class at a time? Is that what my problem is? Oh no, I think I know. I think I know what I did wrong. Hold on. Right, okay. So this needs to be within a brace. There. So now it should put a thick orange border around instead of the light white border. It should make a thick orange border for the winner. So let's see how this works. Let's add Doyle in too, just to have an extra player. Another thing I want to do is to animate when they shift. I'm not sure if I can do that, but I'm going to try. I'm just going to put this on my screen so I can see it a little easier. Let's see. So Durf is in the lead with ace-8. Let's see what happens. I gotta stop the countdown from going back to 10 seconds too. Again, the flop did not come up. What's going on? There's some kind of a bug. Oh, I put the orange border on the wrong thing. I'm not sure why the cards don't come out sometimes. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it's losing the connection to the server or something? I don't know. I'm not sure why. Anyways, Durf, you hit your ace. Yeah, so I put the orange border around the percentage instead of around the entire thing. So I want to put this somewhere else. You see, I don't always cheat. So we want to put the border around the entire thing, not just the... let's see. So this list item, I think it's here we want to do it. Yeah. Only once in a while. Hi, I'm Kat. This is, what the heck is this? Is this someone I need to ban? Is that who's coming in here? So let's see. No, I don't know. Cat, Mrs. Ribtree, if you fancy. What is this message? I don't know. I'm just I was worried about people coming in trying to do strange stuff. Sorry. Sorry, Miss Ribtree. I apologize. There's all kinds you get online, so excuse me. Bro. So let's see. I had some bots on my channel and another one, so that's why I reacted the way. Okay, so this border. Oh, this already shows. I made a little mistake here. As I put this based on the win percentage, which is already calculated for the river. So, Durf, you can see into the future. You're gonna win this. You're gonna win this hand, for sure. So So, Miss Ribtree, are you a poker player? Are you coming over from Blainville or just found us on Twitch? So this we need to make a condition to make sure that oh, cool. Well, welcome to the stream. I apologize for my unpolite welcome to the stream. I thought it was maybe a bot coming on or something. So now we're putting we're trying to make it so that when the hand is over, we display who the winner is, and so we need to also put a condition here: current hand dot display equals river. And so then we'll only display it when the river's arrived. But we can see into the future for this a little bit. So normally, if everything goes right, we'll see in 20 seconds. I have it set now for every 5 minutes instead of every 10 for testing purposes. But we should see a flop, turn, and river, and see who wins the hand. So I'm just going to look at this on it's a little bit smaller on my side screen, so I'm just going to look at it here. And again, I don't know what it is. Somehow, I wonder if it's because I have this open here as well in both spots. But you see Durf wins with the King 7, but we're not sure why. I guess you made, it was just your high card that counted. Maybe I need to close this and quit opening that locally, because it seems to be messing with my overlay. Not sure why that would do that, but somehow the overlay is not getting the data updates properly. But the percentages are changing, so I don't know why one would work and one wouldn't. It's kind of weird, but okay. I'll just leave that closed for the moment. Durf, you're on a hot streak. You've won a couple hands in a row now. Ah, but I have you dominated. Queen 10. And Cat, maybe try the deal again. It seems like some. Let me check that now, because sometimes it doesn't take the first time. You can try it again and it should come through. Let's see if there's a bug with that. Yeah, I don't think I got. Somehow I think it's a problem with the Nightbots. It's sometimes when there's too many commands close, the same command close together, it doesn't seem to come through. Because I can see in my logs, I got the Durf's command, I got my command. Yeah, it shouldn't have mattered. It shouldn't really matter because it's not the same account doing it. So, but go ahead and try again. It should work the next time. A6, nice hand. You are favored right now. Well, you will be. Do you play poker, Cat? Or are you never? Are you are you a developer, programmer? I know because I stream on the software and game development channel, so I guess there's gamers and developers on those. So here we see your call came through for this one. Oh, you found it on Browse, really? Okay, cool, very cool. So I'm a developer, and I make a website called Blind Valet, blindvalet.com, and it's an application for managing poker tournaments. So it's a software for managing, placing players at the table, registering players, managing the blinds, and so forth. That's what my application is, and now I'm just doing some streams where I do dev work, and thought I'd do this little poker game for fun. So. But I'm not a professional streamer yet. I only started a few weeks back, so. So let's see how this. Let's see if this works better with this next countdown here. So it's 0 seconds. Right now, Cat is favored with 46%, and then me with 35%, and then Durf, his Queen 7, is in bad shape right now, 15%. So let's see, in 20 seconds, just want to make sure that the board comes out, the cards come out. They didn't display the last time around. I'm not sure if it's, I'm not sure what that bug is, but the code is right in the component itself. So let's see. I also have to fix that where I hide the timer at the end. And now the board's not showing. I don't know why that is. But you won, Cat. Because you went to 100%, you got the orange border, that much worked. Oh, you made a flush. You can see down at the bottom. Ace, King, 6, 5, 4 of diamonds. Very nice. Actually, 4, 5, 6, you were on your way to a straight flush, but. So why is my board not showing? Let's see. Because this is my component. This is my overlay. Because basically the overlay is how they work. The thing showing the next hand and showing, I guess it's not a conflict. The things showing the next hand and so forth are is basically just a web page, a web application. So here I'm just opening up on my browser locally on my machine. It's the same thing that shows in the overlay, and it just has a transparent background on the web page. And since it's transparent, you can put it in Twitch. You can, with OBS, you can put it over your stream. And so it's a web application that I'm developing to do this. It's also showing these events from the Blind Valet application, my other app. That these are the events you see coming up on screen. A player was eliminated in France. These are my actual customers and users using the application all across the world. And these are actions that are happening in their poker tournaments when they're playing in real life with their friends, playing with cards and chips. Blind Valet is for managing real tournaments. So whenever you see those pop-ups, those are real tournaments happening somewhere in the world. So it's pretty fun. So I just put up events that are, this is a tournament going on in Montevideo, Uruguay, and I think that's pretty cool. So let's see the next flop, and try and figure out why this isn't working. And so this is the code for the overlay. King 9, that's a pretty good hand too. Yeah, this is oh, this is a bug. This must be a bug. The Jack 7 hand has come out. Jack of Diamonds, 7 of Hearts has come out several times. Isn't that the hand you got twice, Durf? That's something that's weird. Jack of diamonds, 7 of hearts. You got that twice before. Yes. That seems way too unlikely to be random. So as I said, any calculating, getting the same 2 cards, identical 2 cards, Jack of diamonds, 7 of hearts should come out once in 1,326 hands. Every exact 2 card combination is only there are 1,326 2 card combinations. So the fact that that one's come up already 3 times in the stream is really weird. And yeah, Kat, I'm coding a whole overlay just for a stream. But did I forget a couple of zeros? Or maybe I put too many zeros, or they should have been ones. I don't know. Let's try and figure it out. So this is the board that shows the cards. So let's put a little log in here. And let's, I'm already logging the current hand. So let's say, first of all, put big board so that we know it's coming from this object. And what we're using to display it is the current hand and the display variable. So let's, every time this changes, we should get the event here. And so let's display let's do the current hands first, and then just in case it's null, if it's empty, and then if current hand display, I know if current hand is already defined, then we'll output the display variable. No, what is this doing? And so let's do the display. So we should get, every time the flop, turn, and river come out, we should get a entry in here in our what is this doing? No. So we should get the whole current hand, and we should get just the display variable. Put display here, and this will, we can check this in our logging to see if it's actually getting the data changes detected. I think sometimes also because I'm coding this, I'm making these changes and running it locally, there may be something weird going on too. Maybe I should push it to the server. Ooh, Derf. Ace King, very nice hand. And Cat, again, I think it's, you guys did commands at about the same time, and I think that's it's bugging out with Nightbot. I might have to change the bot I use for this. So go ahead and try that again, Cat. The deal. Sorry about that. There you go. Not a great hand, but it's better than mine. So we'll see the next flop when it comes through how that works, and see the logs for this. And maybe while I'm at it, I'm going to push the code to the server and switch my overlay over to the server code, so I can test some things locally, and then I'll push them when they're working to the server. So so I've deployed these. I think it's bviz. Yeah, this is my address for the it's the old version. Let me see when that gets deployed. Basically, I can run when I run push a code update to the server, then it automatically deploys. It's building right now. It should be updated in a minute. Looks like there's a big tournament going on in Uruguay. Okay, so that's published. So this is up online now. And I'm just going to change my overlay in OBS for the stream to the server version. Maybe it'll be more stable that way. Okay, now we're on the server version. Let's see if that works better. And we'll see very shortly here. Okay, there's the cards. Queen, King, 9. Wait a second. Why are only one of the cards showing for each person up at the top? What the heck? I'm getting weird bugs. Why does everyone have only one card? What the heck? Oh yeah, wow, that's the first time you saw the cards work. Now what is going on? I'm only getting one card. What the heck? Why is there only one card showing? The cards are right in the database. Oh, my bot. Did it ban you? Oh, it just deleted your message. I guess my bot is playing police. Sorry about the command not working. You always seem to do it at the exact same time Derf does it, so just after. So why is only one card showing all of a sudden? What the heck is happening? It's happening for me online as well. Locally, I'm getting both cards on my local version, which is weird. Which is really weird. Why would that be? It's the same code. You can do it basically anytime the cards go away on the screen. You should be able to this is so weird. Why there's only one card showing on screen? That I haven't seen that anywhere. This one is baffling me. This bug. Why would it only show one of the cards? I don't understand. Let's make some other change and then we'll see. But the flop, turn, and river came out. The cards on the board came out, which was nice. What could it be? What could it be? So this is this is showing up in the small hand is what it's called, that displays the hand of cards. What's the condition on the second card? There's no special condition. If the first card is showing, the second one should show. You tried giving us a second card? That's a great idea. I should have thought of that. Let me see where I put my cards. I actually have some Blind Valet playing cards that I made. I had printed. I made 500 of them, and I still have like. This is like 6 years ago. I still have like 300 of them or something. Maybe I'll start doing some giveaways of those on future streams. I have no idea why one of the cards is not displaying. That's so weird. Maybe if I change some data to make it refresh. Well, it's going to be a new hand in 5 minutes, so we'll see if it's if in 30 seconds. Question? Sure, go ahead. Let's see if this if 2 cards show up on the next hand. Okay, the flop's working. That's good. Are you a company or are you just some dude that wanted to make a poker website? A little bit of both. When I first started playing Texas Hold'em poker many years ago, I really got into it and I started organizing poker tournaments with friends, family. Sometimes it was 10 or 15 of us. Sometimes we had I did up to like 40-person tournaments at my house. We put furniture into the bedroom to make room for poker tables. And one of the things when I started organizing tournaments is that one card is still showing. I'm not sure what's going on. And one problem I had when I was doing that was that to make a poker tournament, you have to have a blind structure, which determines how frequently the bet sizes go up during the tournament. Because the tournament goes and you keep playing until there's only one person left when they have all the chips. And to figure out that structure, how often we should raise the bet sizes, which are called blinds in Texas Hold'em poker, how often to raise those and by how much to raise them was always a complicated calculation to do. So I'd be doing it on pencil and paper, trying to figure things out so that the tournament didn't last until 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, if we wanted to finish around midnight, then we wanted to have the blinds to go up fast enough. So I ended up coding a little app to calculate the blind structure, and then just as a side project. And then I was just some dude making a poker website, and then kept adding on to it. I added a poker clock, and I added the seating and registrations and payout calculator and so forth. And then in 2015, I quit my job to do this full time and started my own company, and was doing that for a number of years as my main source of income. And then COVID came, which where everybody in the world quit playing poker. So that made a huge impact on my revenue, of course. So I started doing consulting with other startups, other companies in my area, and doing development for them within this startup studio called Imagination Machine that I was working with, that are partners of mine. And so I built a partnership with them, and in October of 2022, I joined that startup studio as an operating partner. So now my day job is I mentor startups and do development work with startups as well. And then Fridays, and on the weekends, I do work on Blind Valet, and some evenings. And though I just started streaming on Friday afternoons as kind of a hobby, and to also to make it a place where my users could come and ask questions and ask for feature requests, ask things to be changed, and so forth. Um, so I've had that. I had that. Durf is a user of Blind Valet. He's a poker player and he uses Blind Valet in his tournaments. So I had in a stream a few weeks ago. Someone asked me for a feature, and I built it live on stream. Um, so I do sometimes. I'm not always streaming, building overlays for Twitch. I'm usually doing work on Blind Valet, trying to make it better. But yeah, so I still have my company. Company is still running, and Blind Valet goes through that company. But it's secondary to my day job. But probably in a couple of years, I'll go back to full time on it. I think, because poker has definitely picked back up. I have more users now than I ever have. In fact, let's see. I have also an admin application that I built it's kind of my back office application for managing Blind Valet. And I have stats on here of how many poker tournaments are going on, some different stats on Blind Valet. So, like if I look at the last year, actually, let's look at all time. Because it's kind of interesting to see. This is the number of tournaments. This number is the number of tournaments per week. So you can see this dip. So this is since I started. This is the dip of COVID, when pretty much everyone stopped playing poker. Do you sell a lot of Blind Valet stuff, or do you get a percentage from the tournaments? I don't get a percentage from the tournaments. I don't touch any money that's gambling money. So if you take a percentage of tournaments, of like buy-ins for tournaments and so forth, then you're getting gambling funds, and that could be illegal in a lot of countries. And since we have users all over the world, it'd be too complicated to manage that. So I have a free version of Blind Valet where up to 9 players in a tournament you can use it for free with most of the features. And then over that, you need a paid subscription, a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription to play. There's one level up to 27 players, and then one level unlimited. And that's where my revenue comes from. I also have we made a custom version for the Foxwoods Resort and Casino in Connecticut. And so we made a casino version for them that they use for all their poker tournaments at that casino. It's one of the biggest casinos in the world. So those are the main sources of income. The cards were just kind of a promotional marketing thing, but anyways, you see that right now this is where we're at. We're at the kind of the peak where we've ever been on Blind Valet. So we have around 700 tournaments per week happening on the platform. And if we look at participants, we're approaching. Now this looks like an anomaly. Something spiked up, so I think somebody might have made some kind of a fake tournament, but looks kind of weird there. But for my poker club, great value for the money. We use it twice a week. Superb tool. Thank you, Durf. Appreciate that. Really do. We have about 10,000 participants per week. Players playing in poker tournaments managed by Blind Valet. So we're approaching 2 million since I started tracking stats in 2016. But I think the first version I did was prior to 2010. The first version, which was just a blind structure calculator and so forth. So it's been a passion project for a while, for sure. But I'm gonna have to wrap it up here shortly because it's 7 p.m. here in France, where I live, and I have to think about this bug of why only one card is showing up. Why only one card is showing up on the stream? Because on my local version, which is the same code I just pushed to the server, both cards are showing up. So I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. So what I'm going to do next, the next things I want to do for this are fix that bug, why it's only showing one card. I want to animate the sorting of when the flop, turn, and river come out, so that if I have ace two and then on the flop it comes out with the queen, Durf hits a queen, he's going to go into first place. Then maybe I hit an ace on the turn, I go in the first place, and animate the changing of positions. I think that'd be fun. And I need a better winner message, last winner message than the one that I coded on Friday, where Durf was on the stream with me. It's really strange. I'm not sure why it seems like it's always cats. It's always you that your deal command doesn't work the first time. I wonder if there's something with your name being long, or I don't know. It's really weird. So here's the flop. He hit his queen. I told you. You see, he shifted to first place. He actually hit two pair on the flop. I still had outs though, going to the river. I could have hit a king to make a straight, but no, Durf hit his hand. Maybe, I don't know. The bot asked you for a 30-second delay. But that's weird because you didn't do the previous deal command. It was Durf that did. It wasn't you. So that's weird. And still only one card showing on the stream overlay. I don't know. So anyways, I want to do a new winner message. I want to do animating the... No, it's set up to do up to 9 players. That's how it's set up. It's something because basically what happens is the Nightbot, this is the configuration for the Nightbot. When you do deal, it's going to call my function that I built. That's this function. It's a cloud function that is stored in the cloud with Google. And it passes the Twitch ID as a parameter. And then it answers back your cards are and so there's nothing coded here for the number of players. If there's too many players, it'll tell you. It'll say, if there's already 9 players, then it'll say there's no room, wait for the next hand. But there should be no reason that it's not working for yours. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it seems like it's always happening to yours. But it seems like it's when it's two commands that are very close together. I'm not sure. It's maybe something with Nightbot that doesn't handle a big flood of commands, but I've seen this on big streams that have lots of people on them, so I'm not sure. So you can see there's another command, lucky hand, you can try, which will tell you what your personal lucky hand is, and that never changes. Assuming it's not broken, but that you have a very nice lucky hand. King, queen of clubs, or king of spades, queen of clubs. King, queen is a great hand. And mine, of course, is Jack 9, because if you look at the Blind Valet website, in the logo, there's a Jack 9 of hearts. And Durf, you've got a nice hand too, Ace 10. Those are good hands. And this is the only thing I've cheated with Blind Valet is uh, I forced Blind Valet's lucky hand to be Jack Nine of Hearts because that's my lucky hand. So it's the first hand I ever made a straight flush with playing Texas Hold'em. So yeah, this one is a calculation based off of your ID. So it's a bit technical, but basically there's a way to kind of create a random string of characters, not a random string of characters, but a large string of characters based on some other text, but it's obfuscated. You can't, it's not readable. And so I do that off of everybody's Twitch ID, and then I do what's called a hash, where it it is equated to one of the 1,326 poker hand combinations. And that is a deterministic function, meaning that whenever you do it, if you give it one value, it's always going to give you the same return value. So if you give it Derf 29, it's always going to give you Ace of Diamonds, 10 of Spades. That's just that's the way I coded it. So, and then when I coded it, Blind Valet was not Jack Nine of Hearts; it was something else. And so then I cheated to make mine Jack Nine of Hearts. But otherwise, it's random, but it's consistent every time. So yeah. So anyways, when I go back, so we got another flop coming. Cat is in the lead. And no, Blind Valet wins. What did I do? I made two pair on the river or something? Yeah, four deuce. I made two pair on the river. Scandalous. Cat, you were leading until the river card, the final card. So so I need to make a better winner message, one that stays up and comes up in big, and then animate the sorting of the players, and then what else? There's a lot more things I can do to it, but cheating for the to win, shakes hand. Cheating for the brand, agree. Sounds like a meme I need to make. But thanks for joining me on the stream. It's been nice having some people to chat with. Sometimes when you're first starting, you're only streaming to 0 viewers. So I'd appreciate it if you follow as well. Follow, and you can see the next time I'm on and see the. I'm sure I'll have fixed that bug by then. Oh, you did? Oh, thank you. I missed that pop up. I need to put a better announcement on there for it. But thanks for chatting, and it was nice to meet you, Kat. Sorry for the unwarm welcome at the start, but I'll probably be on next Friday afternoon my time, so 9, probably around 9 a.m. Eastern time. Bye. Thank you.